everyone. This is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com, here with your new weekly Empowered Moments video for the week of Monday, June 12th through Sunday, June 18th, 2023. For this week's Empowered Moment video, we're going to be using the Archangel Tarot deck by Radley Valentine for the main message for the collective. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. So before we get into the astrology or even your stones of choice for this week, let's go ahead and do an empowered moment. So if you close your eyes, relax your body, clear your mind of all thoughts. Just focus on being in the present moment, the here and now, making sure that your legs are uncrossed. Taking a couple of deep breaths to ground and center. Visualizing, imagining, seeing, feeling, or just knowing that you're surrounded in beautiful golden white light of God's source, energy, universe, all that is. And take in a deep breath, breathing in that golden white light, breathing it into every cell of your body, allowing that protective golden white light to give you a sense of peace and safety and security. Taking in another deep breath with intention, and as you exhale this time, imagine that you have a grounding cord being released from your root chakra down, 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 going down deep into Earth Mother Gaia. Your grounding cord moving through all the layers of the earth and connecting to the center of the earth, Gaia's heart chakra. That golden yellow, amber colored nectar of nurturing, mothering, grounding light from Earth Mother Gaia. Breathe that in deeply into every cell of your body, breathing it up through the grounding cord and into your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual bodies. As you exhale, it's being dispersed in all directions within you and outside of you, merging with that etheric golden white light of creation, universe, all that is. This week we've got Saturn, teacher of karmic lessons, turning to retrograde motion. So let's focus our attention on Saturn's energy. Saturn, the teacher. What does he want to teach you this week and in the weeks to come? Or what has he been teaching you? Saturn is like the wise old man, the sage. He can be about authority, which is about owning your own inner authority. So as Saturn slows down this week and turns to retrograde motion, it's turning his energies inward so that you can find the wise teacher and mentor within yourself, so that you can find the wise sage within yourself, and so that you can own and be your own inner authority, where you take responsibility for your path, for your past, for your present, and for your future. So breathe in that intention deeply into all cells of your beingness, in your body, energetic bodies. Asking to be shown whatever lessons you need to see, to take responsibility where you may need to take responsibility for your path and your future forward, where you can be the wise sage or teacher of your own life and your destiny path. One last deep healing breath. And as you exhale and in your own time, you can open your eyes, returning to this time, this place and space. And let's get ready to look at our stones of choice. So these are all special intention pendants, which are available on my website. And the first one is mahogany obsidian. I don't know if you can even tell that this is a dark brown stone with little black spots on it. The lighting in here might not be good enough to see, but this mahogany, we usually think of obsidian as the black stone, right? But mahogany obsidian, it's this beautiful earthy brown color with the black spots of obsidian in it. And this is an arrowhead. So this is a mahogany obsidian arrowhead. It's wrapped in gold wire, and it's been Reiki charged with the vibration of master number 22, number of proper use of power on the earthly plane. The qualities of Pluto, planet of transformation and transmuting your own shadow and lower vibrational energies. The element of earth is infused into this for restoring harmony to the root chakra and being grounded. The guidance of our Native American ancestors of the light and the energies of Archangel Michael, Archangel of protection and the removal of all lower vibrational energies and negative attachments. And just so that you know, mahogany obsidian is just a little bit more gentle in its clearing and cleansing effects than regular black obsidian. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that one down. Let's look at our second stone of choice. This one is Moroccan red quartz. So of course it comes from Morocco. So the Moroccan red quartz, it's also wrapped in gold wire, and it's Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 1, number of confidence, motivation, and willpower, and the number 4 as well, number of being grounded, good in business, and manifestation. The qualities of Capricorn are infused into this one, sign of having good energetic boundaries and the ability to steadily move towards one's goals. The element of earth, again, for practicality, logic, and focus. And Archangel Michael's energy, Archangel of protection, and who provides assistance in removing blocks to our life purpose. And then the last stone of choice is this beautiful feminine smoky quartz. And why do I say feminine? You can see that this one has a flat bottom to it. So when we have the quartz crystals that have a point on the end, those are considered more masculine because they're sharp, focused, you know, like a laser to the point. The flat bottom quartz crystals are more of the softer, more gentle feminine energy. So the feminine smoky quartz is, it's also wrapped in the gold wire. So all 3 of these is gold wire wrapped this week. It's infused with or charged with the vibration of master number 22, number of the master builder, master manifester, and power and protection on all planes. The energies of Pluto, again, planet of transformation and transmutation of lower vibrational energies. The activation of the crown and the root chakras, because clear quartz usually activates the crown, and because of it's a smoky quartz, it activates that root chakra as well. So this is a combination of opening to higher universal energies and bringing them down through all of the other chakras to ground them in on the third dimensional earth plane. And the guidance and assistance of Archangel Michael. I didn't even realize when I chose these out randomly that they were all infused with Archangel Michael energies for protection and to clear away lower energies. This one also has the energy of King Solomon infused into it for his powerful protection, divine magic, and space clearing. All right, so those stones of choice again for this week are the mahogany obsidian arrowhead, the Moroccan red quartz, and the divine feminine smoky quartz. So I'm going to place those over here. We're going to talk a little bit about the astrology for this week. We start out on Monday and Tuesday, the 12th and 13th of June, with lovely Venus, who's in Leo right now. And of course, Venus rules love and relationships, personal resources like money and finances, along with other types of resources, values and self-worth. And she's in sunny, energized, take charge, leadership-oriented, creative, loving Leo right now. But on Monday and Tuesday, she's in an inconjunct to Saturn in Pisces. So we talked about Saturn in our little meditation, right? Saturn is the authority. Saturn is responsibility. Saturn can sometimes rule restriction and limitation. He's the great teacher of karmic lessons. He's the wise old sage, wise old teacher. The inconjunct to Venus is a little bit of a challenging energy, because Venus in Leo, Venus in Leo just wants to love life and love and be creative and shine her light and attract blessings and all of that wonderful Leo sort of stuff. That inconjunct to Saturn sort of maybe squashes or limits it a little bit. It's a little bit of a heavy energy. Saturn, of course, is in Pisces right now, which is interesting because Saturn is a very earthy and third dimensional planet, and Pisces, of course, rules the spiritual realm. So just by itself, Saturn and Pisces is trying to, you know, ground us more into the spiritual planes of reality, which sounds a little contraindicative, if that's even the right word, you know, because Saturn again rules third dimension, Pisces rules higher dimension. So it's not the, you know, it's not to me the worst place for Saturn to be. It can bring up some, I think, karmic lessons from previous lifetimes, because Pisces does rule the other lifetimes that we've lived as a soul, other dimensions of time and space. So Saturn can bring up some karmic lessons. And again, with that connection to Venus, maybe there's some karmic lessons being brought up in love matters, relationship matters, financial matters, and even how you value yourself or your sense of self-value or self-esteem, self-worth. So again, a little bit of a maybe a heavy energy of some sort. We're moving through something. We're trying to adjust. We're trying to understand something with that on Monday and Tuesday. On Thursday, we have Mercury, the planet of the mental realm that rules thoughts, ideas, perceptions, communications of all kinds. And he's in his home sign of Gemini. So he's curious and he's excitable and he's vacillating and he wants to learn and he wants to stick his hands into lots of different things, network, be social. But on Thursday, it's in a challenging square to Saturn. So here we have Saturn influence again. So Saturn can actually limit our ability to express through communication, or Saturn can limit or restrict our ability to come up with these thoughts and perceptions as far as new ideas on what to do next and how to move forward in our lives. So there might be a little bit of a struggle and a challenge, again, with your thinking processes and how to express yourself verbally and with communications with other people. That leads us up to Saturday. Saturday, we have Saturn turning to retrograde motion at 7 degrees of Pisces. So since the beginning of this week, and probably even last week, we were starting to feel Saturn's effect as he was slowing down, coming to a standstill at 7 degrees of Pisces. And again, Saturn is a heavy planet. So when Saturn is not moving forward in his regular speed, so to speak, and he's slowing down and he's already a heavy kind of planet, it can feel especially heavy, especially on the physical body. You know, Saturn can rule, again, third dimension, our physicality. And so just know that if you're feeling a little bit more tired, if you're feeling a little bit more fatigued, if your just body is feeling a little bit more heavy, like you're tripping over your own feet, for instance, because of the heaviness of that energy kind of weighing us down here in the third dimension, that's Saturn slowing down. Now, as he turns retrograde, He's going to be retrograde for some weeks. I actually forgot to write down how long, but expect for the next few months that Saturn's going to be retrograde. As he's turning his energies inward, all the things that he rules is also turning inwards, sort of like self-reflecting on where you need to take responsibility for your life, self-reflecting on where your karmic lessons are, or where the karmic repeating patterns are coming up in your life, where you feel restricted or limited or heavy or held back in life. You know, we're going to be more kind of internalizing some of these energies and asking these questions. Now, Saturn being the wise teacher, as he turns retrograde, it can be about kind of like seeking your own answers within. It reminds me of the Hermit card, right? The Hermit card in the tarot is like the seeker is holding the lantern, lighting his own way. He's got to be his own teacher and find his own answers. It sort of feels like that with Saturn turning retrograde. So we're needing to really like look for the wisdom, because Saturn can be about wisdom. His positive expression is about being grounded, being focused, taking responsibility, being an authority, being your own inner authority, which is another good thing about Saturn turning retrograde. It's like you're finding your own sense of inner authority here. You're finding your sense of grounding here. So here again, we're seeking the wisdom, because Saturn is the wise one, the wise teacher. We're seeking our own inner wisdom, even more so with Saturn retrograde. Now on Sunday, actually on Saturday really late or Sunday really early, depending on what part of the world you live in, we have a new moon also, new moon at 26 degrees of Gemini. Now, new moons are about new beginnings and the initiation of a new energy, a new moon cycle where the moon starts to wax and get bigger again, right? And it's in Gemini, which is flitty and fun and curious and loves to learn and loves to talk and loves to network and loves to come up with new ideas, brainstorm. Now, this new moon, though, first of all, it's preceded by that Saturn turning retrograde. So there's almost like a heaviness over that new moon, right? The new moon in Gemini should be more fun, where we want to become more social and get out there and network. And it's not that we won't necessarily, we could still do those things, but Saturn can be about insecurity as well. So Saturn turning retrograde right before the new moon can bring in these insecurities and these fears and these doubts, because he's good for that, you know. And this new moon also is in a challenging connection to Neptune and a challenging connection to Pluto, and they're both pretty heavy planets as well. You know, Saturn's heavy, but Pluto is kind of heavy too. And Neptune, well, Neptune's just, you know, sometimes illusion, confusion, and delusion, especially when it's a challenging aspect like it is to this new moon. So I feel like we're going to do a lot of vacillating. We're going to have a lot of confusion emotionally. We're going to have a lot of uncertainty. If we need to make any kind of decisions, we may vacillate on what the appropriate decision is. We just might have this kind of big ball of confusion in our minds. The connection to Pluto with the new moon, it brings in some possibilities of transformation and change, but we need to make some adjustments to empower ourselves or take back our power, probably more so in our mind, because it's a Gemini new moon, and Gemini rules the mental realm. So we have to kind of take back our power from our own disempowering thoughts and perceptions in order to make the most out of this new moon. And then on Sunday, the 18th, the sun, which is part of this new moon anyway, right? Because the moon and the sun are together at that 26 degree of Gemini point. But as we move into Sunday, the next day, the sun will exactly challenge or square Neptune. So this again can bring in some issues with our sense of self-identity, independence, self-assuredness, especially in regards to, again, communication. And also expect, because the sun is in Gemini, this new moon is in Gemini, and it's challenging Neptune, that we might have miscommunication, missed messages, You know, there might be some challenge there with connecting. We might, you know, miss an appointment, for instance, or someone might, you know, get the wrong time when we're supposed to meet or have lunch or get together in a networking group or whatever it might be. And again, just communicating in general, there might be some misinformation, miscommunication, not understanding one another. So it's really going to be good to reiterate the information that you're receiving. I hear you saying this, or do I understand this correctly? And then kind of repeat it back to the person. Make sure they understand you too. So that's a little bit about the astrology. Let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides. So the first card, let's turn that over. The first card to come up is the Seven of Michael. This is like the Seven of Swords. Now, the seven in numerology has an internalizing sort of effect, just like Saturn turning retrograde. So again, it's this internalization of thoughts, perceptions, and ideas, because the suit of Michael is like the suit of swords. So this is like the Seven of Swords. So the other thing about the number 7 is I feel like it can be about confusion as well. Like we don't have all the puzzle pieces. We're ruminating on something. We're trying to make something, you know, fit together in our minds or work or make sense. And sometimes it's not always making sense. The number 7 can also bring in some anxiety energy. So there may be some anxiety that we're, you know, having in our minds. Let's see what it says at the bottom here. It says there's a better course of action available. A better course of action available to you. It says working alone may be the best answer, because the 7 is very much a loner. The 7 is very self-reflective. It's sort of like that Hermit card that I mentioned earlier. It's like the 7 wants to be alone, to understand its thoughts, to go deep within, to kind of dig down deep within their own minds. This is also a great card for research, like if you need to research or dig into details or pick apart details a little bit better to understand something, understand how something works, or understand where there might be a missing piece to the puzzle. It's really good for that too. And then it says review all the details. So again, there is a better course of action available to you. Working alone may be the answer, and review all the details. So very much about kind of internal mental processing, I would say, with this one, where again, there can be some confusion, either within yourselves or in trying to communicate with other people. There can be that confusion. So it's best to kind of, you know, have a little bit of silent time, downtime, meditation time with this one before coming upon an answer for yourself, or before like sharing that communication or that message with somebody else if it's something very important. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next card. Okay, the next card, it's another Michael card. So it's another Swords card. This is the 9 of Michael. Now, the number 9 in numerology also has kind of a Piscean and Neptunian feel to me. So although this may not relate to the tarot card, the 9 of Swords itself, I'm going to say that the number 9 numerologically can be connected more so to the spiritual realm than the physical realm, which means in the suit of Michael, the suit of the ego mind, which is logic, objectivity, analysis, thinking. Again, there might be some fuzzy thoughts. There might be some confused thoughts, vague thoughts, lack of boundaries and communication, you know, things like that might come up with the 9 of Michael, or the 9 of Swords. Now, the message on the bottom of this says, your worry is unnecessary. So again, there might be worries, anxieties, fears that are coming up during the week. It says, focus your thoughts on the outcome that you desire, right? So our mind is all over the place, which can be Mercury squaring Saturn, the new moon squaring Neptune. Our thoughts are not grounded very well. Our thoughts are not focused. And again, we might have some anxiety, confusion, or fears going on. So we need to focus, you know, kind of make a conscious effort to focus on what it is that we really want to say, what we really want to be thinking, what we really want to be perceiving or seeing in our own minds, because that's part of the manifestation process eventually. And it says, release feelings of regret, guilt, or worry to your angels. So altogether, your worry is unnecessary. Focus your thoughts on the outcome that you desire and release feelings of regret, guilt, and worry to your angels. So call in your angels and guides and those of the light and Archangel Michael, especially. This is the suit of Michael, suit of swords. But call in Archangel Michael to pull those cords to the fear, the lower emotions, the lower thoughts and perceptions that are going on within you. And he'll definitely be there to help you. Okay, let's look at the last card. The last card is Major Arcana 5. And in this deck, it's called Divine Guidance with Archangel Sandalphon. Archangel Sandalphon is usually the archangel that we think of to carry our prayers and intentions up to the higher realms so that they can be made manifest or they can be turned into miracles and whatnot. In the traditional tarot, this is the Hierophant card. So the Hierophant is a spiritual authority figure, which actually, again, goes pretty well with Saturn retrograde, because Saturn is earthly, right? It's third dimensional, and Saturn is the wise teacher or the teacher of lessons. The Hierophant is sort of like that, and although he's a religious figure in most decks, like a priest, a rabbi, someone that has more wisdom, knowledge, and authority than we do. And it doesn't have to be religious speaking. A Hierophant, can be like a life coach, for instance. Someone who has more information in particular areas than we do. But I like that in this deck it's called Divine Guidance, because now we're not just thinking, oh, I've got to look outside myself for the answers. I've got to connect with an authority figure to tell me what to do or tell me what's right. This is like divine guidance, which means it can be your own higher soul self. Your own soul self, your angels and guides can be the divine guidance. Your higher self can speak the divine guidance to you. It says at the bottom, the search for meaning in life. So again, if you were to connect with, some sort of authority figure, spiritual authority figure in your life, you're looking for answers to life's big questions, right? So it's like, what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? Why is this happening to me? Or why does this pattern keep coming up? You're searching for the answers to these questions. Consider an alternative approach, it says. Surround yourself with wise teachers or friends. So see, it can be, again, wise friends, wise parents, it doesn't have to be an authority, spiritual or religious figure here. It can be, again, a teacher, a life coach. So all in all, the search for meaning in life, consider an alternative approach. So in other words, look at alternative perspectives, alternative possibilities, alternative potentials than what you're currently seeing. And surround yourself with wise teachers and friends. Look for that divine guidance with that new moon connecting to Neptune. The trick is, because it's a challenging connection to Neptune, you're going to have to just make doubly certain that what you're receiving from, as far as information or guidance, is true, is like grounded in your reality. In other words, that it's not skewed by your own ego talking to you, or if it's somebody else giving you advice, it's not skewed by their belief systems. So we just want to make sure that the divine guidance is true for you. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice. So the first stone of choice was the mahogany obsidian. So we're going to shuffle here and ask for the message, special message for the mahogany obsidian arrowhead people for this week. And this one, as I open my eyes, called my attention right here. And it says message in a bottle. So I feel like, again, messages of a spiritual nature, and they're even saying messages from like your higher soul self, or messages from some past lives, like an aspect of your soul that was in a past life, or even your subconscious self. There's messages coming in, but I feel like they're from various, coming in from various places. This particular bottle with the message in it is in the ocean. So it's bringing up the emotional realm, the intuitive realm. Of course, we've got a bird or a pelican here, and most birds are about being a messenger, like It could be you are the messenger to somebody else, or someone else is a messenger for you. But it might involve, again, your subconscious, your unconscious, your emotional situations and circumstances in your life, because we have this ocean water here. But listen to the divine messages. This is number 13, actually. And number 13 in numerology is a karmic number, but it's a number of death and rebirth and transformation. So whatever these messages are, tune into that message being one that can transform the way you're seeing something, the way you're thinking about something or perceiving something, or it can transform your life, literally. So I think that, you know, and paying attention to animal totems as messengers as well, okay? All right, so the second stone of choice was the Moroccan red quartz. Let's see what the Moroccan red quartz people have as a message for this week. Moroccan red quartz. This one's sticking up as I open my eyes. This one is chaos and conflict. Well, we do have a lot of Saturnian kind of energy going on with its inconjunct to Venus and square to Mercury and turning to retrograde motion on Saturday. So that can kind of unearth some chaos and conflict in our lives, because again, Saturn does rule karmic lessons. So it may unearth or dig up some old karmic lessons that maybe you thought were done and over. Maybe you thought you resolved them. So they might come, you know, back up to be looked at a little bit further. Or maybe they haven't, you know, in your mind been resolved at all, and they're there causing a little bit of conflict in your life. We see kind of like a horse in the desert here. So, you know, what's the desert? The desert can feel like arid nothingness, you know, like we're in sparse energy here, which might relate to feeling like you're not connected, like not feeling connected to your angels and guides or the spiritual realm, the spiritual messages that are trying to come through. It might feel a little sparse. This horse is kind of, it's almost like it's dissected into parts, right? And so I want to say again, Saturn is asking us to look at some of the deeper details of something. We're needing to like dissect a situation, or dissect an emotion or a feeling that we're having, or dissect a pattern that keeps repeating itself. We're really needing to kind of look at all the little pieces and where it's all coming from, and there might be several places at once that it's coming from. So we want to understand it a little bit more so we can reintegrate ourselves, reintegrate those pieces, those details of ourselves, so to speak, to come back into wholeness. Let's see, what number is this? This is master number 33. Master number 33 is like Christ consciousness energy and is the healer and the teacher. So bring healing into your life. Do some healing on yourself, look for a healer, or find, again, a mentor, a guide, a teacher, a life coach, somebody that can assist you in understanding what's going on with all the conflict that you might be feeling. All right, and then the last stone of choice was that divine feminine smoky quartz. So let's shuffle this and ask for the message. For the divine feminine smoky quartz, this one's calling my attention in the middle here. Poised. Okay, so this is asking you to try to stay balanced and poised during this week, right? There might be some things that are, I want to say they're communications. I feel like they're saying communications, whether they're communications with other people or communications in your own mind with yourself that are knocking you off your center, knocking you out of balance, so to speak. So here we're trying to balance ourselves and stay poised. And they're even saying not just centered within yourself for yourself, but poised in your communication with other people, right? We don't want to be like reacting out of judgment, reacting out of fear, reacting out of being hurt, you know, or something like that. All that Saturn energy can kind of unearth some of that heavier stuff within us. So we don't want to be trying to communicate with another person when we're, you know, in that stuff without being poised and centered first. This is number 48. So 4s are very grounded. 8s also have a sense of groundedness to the earth plane. But when you add 4 and 8 together, it's 12, right? And 12, it's still a double digit. When you add the 1 and the 2, it's a 3. So we need to kind of expand beyond the earthly realm, because the 4 is earthly, the 8 is earthly, but the base number, when we reduce it all down, is the 3. So let's expand beyond the physical. Let's expand into the higher realms, expand into the higher perspectives and higher way of seeing things. And again, that will help to bring balance and poise back into our lives so that we can move forward in a better way. This kind of fairy here is like she's almost like reaching up to the heavens. She almost looks like she's celebrating in a way, but there's a star right here. It's like she's reaching up towards the star. So that star to me is again like a higher wisdom and knowledge of the cosmos. So turn your attention upwards, if you will. I mean, that's metaphoric, right? Because it's all around us. But turn your attention and expand your attention into a higher perspective, way of looking at things. All right, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this weekly Empowered Moments video. Thank you so much for following me on Facebook and Instagram. And little message here for all of you that are still on the video is I'm almost done with my Akashic Records reading certification training. So within a couple of months, I will be good to go with that, adding something to my website regarding that service, so to speak. So stay tuned for that. Remember, if you like those special intention pendants, there's a lot of them on there with different intentions and archangels and ascended masters and ancestors that could be assisting you with their energy and special intention. So sending you all lots of love and light and many, many blessings. Namaste.